live on Twitch. Hello, Twitch TV.
We are live on YouTube.
Ooh, I'm moist.
Oh,
All right.
fancy.
So I'm gonna hit us with the 65. We ready?
Let's do it.
65. All right. So that's done. And now let's get this intro going. I'm gonna get my fingers out. You already know what's gonna happen, right, Jordan?
Don't do it.
I don't know. I'm
Finger
scared a
one,
little
finger
bit.
two. I am going to finger you.
3, 2, 1, go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another weekly dosage of PBnJ podcast. How's it going, guys?
Man, couldn't be going any better. I mean, I
disagree. It could be better, but it's all right.
Dude, we're here recording a show. It doesn't get any better.
Well, that part is great.
My favorite time of the week.
But
it is mine too.
I'm just saying, I would enjoy recording the show way better in a Bugatti.
That's true. I mean, if I were to, let's say, wake up in a new Bugatti.
Yeah, I woke up in a new Bugatti would be great.
Yeah, if I woke up in a new Bugatti.
Yeah. But
You guys are
but it's not happening, so
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree. I see. You're right. There are quality of life improvements that could be made in this scenario. However,
we could
with the resources at hand, I'm pretty happy.
I mean, I got a gigantic monitor 3 inches away from my face and air conditioning. I'm pretty happy.
Right? I could be trying to record this episode with like 2 tin cans and some bits of string. And then I'd be like, man.
Bits of string. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not full string, just bits.
Yeah. You have the time together when you don't have a full string.
You
haven't lived that struggle
That's
yet.
a good point.
It's that bits of string struggle. Just saying.
It's bits of string struggle, though. Oh man, we should get moving in a direction before we start talking about what that actually means.
For real. Anyway, what's been going on, guys? What did we miss this week?
Oh, I mean, nothing really. Oh, actually, the office I'm in, I don't know if you look back at previous videos, behind me looks a little different. I have a different poster there.
Yeah, there's no monster with a Thanos gauntlet.
Yeah, there's no Thanos. The Thanos glove is hung back up where it goes. I actually have, it's out of frame.
Thanos can't get to it.
Yeah, exactly. Out of frame, I have a vault that no, I'm just kidding. Out of frame, I have where on my other walls, new art that I just hung up and Funko Pops that I just placed around. So for the video version on break, I'm thinking about giving you a little sneak peek at my little nerd cave. But that's what I did this week, which was pretty awesome. That and work. I mean, so there's that. But
I MacGyvered the shit out of, and by MacGyvered the shit, I didn't really, but I did. I decided I was tired of, because I have my work computer in where I here, along with my other stuff. I have my work computer on a nightstand next to my main desk, because I don't give a shit about it. So I'm just like, you sit there. I'm just gonna have the keyboard in my lap and the mouse on the corner of my desk, and when I'm working, I'll be there. And when at the end of the shift, yeet, throw that shit on the wall and just be done with it. Yeah, I decided I was sick and tired of having to deal with the stress of a bunch of shit on my desk and like having to look over there and not being able to see too well.
Yeah.
So I built a $20 desk from Walmart, and I've turned my desk into an L desk, and now I have it set up on its own.
So you made it the desk?
So I made it. So when I'm like over here,
his L desk.
This is business price.
That's okay. Business price.
Right? You see me like this, I'm doing a business.
All right.
Then I'm back over here. This is pleasure, Bryce. Hey, how you doing? I'm on Tinder. Hit me up.
I'm curious. Do either versions of these Bryce wear pants?
Hell no. To the no. I don't believe in pants.
Why would you? Honestly.
What? Seriously, the whole benefit of working from home is no one sees that you're pantsless. Why would I?
No, you're right, and I totally agree with that. And
everyone who calls me, they think I'm in like a
deal or whatever. I don't know,
suit,
right?
Shirt.
Yeah, people think I'm in like the suit and the tie, and like I'm all like some Dickies.
Hold on, that's a plus. Actually, you have to spend less on clothes. So like, if everything you do is, let's say, telepresence, if you had to do a meeting or something, right? And they had a webcam on, all you need is the top of a suit.
Exactly. And you know what? I don't even need the top of the suit because the pants. I don't know if you know this. If you have a tie and a collared shirt and you put the pants on your shoulders and have the legs come down,
It looks
as
like
long as you keep your shoulders out of frame and it's all up here, looks like you're wearing a jacket. Doesn't matter. You
know
don't even
what?
have to buy that jacket.
There you go. So you're saving even less.
That's phenomenal.
Exactly.
That is phenomenal.
Cash money. I'm just saying.
Here
You're my hero, Bryce.
Thank you. Sometimes you just got to finesse out of, make a little something out of nothing. That's it.
Not all heroes wear capes. You know what I mean?
Some of them wear pants on their shoulders, so that way they can not have to wear a jacket. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the closest thing I got to a cape. At me, bruh.
Oh God.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
What did you do this week?
Yeah, Jordan.
Man, a whole lot of nothing. I did read this story, since we're all here vaping. It kind of popped up. I saw this one story.
Yeah, vape life, bro.
Hell yeah.
Vape Nash.
Vape
One
nation,
guy.
bro.
Did you hear about the Chinese flight that something happened and they all of a sudden dropped like 21,000 feet, depressurized cabin and everything like that?
No.
Deployed oxygen mask.
That's a really far drop for suddenly.
No, that's super
That's
scary.
almost hitting the ground.
Yep, that's
aren't you only like 22 or 23,000 feet in the air? So they were only 1,000 feet from.
I don't really know.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I know that
regardless, 21,000 feet is not a small distance.
I mean, that you would probably have some lift in your chair as your seatbelted in, where you lift up a little bit, and it's kind of like the vomit comet.
Hold on, you guys have been on airplanes, right?
Yes.
So have you ever felt the drop? Because I have.
No. During turbulence, you get the little like.
I felt
it's like you're in the Tower of Terror. It's like
sideways bank turn where I was looking out of the window at the ground. Turbulence drop. That was so scary.
No, thank you, because you see the ground actually come closer for a second. You're like,
why I don't ride airplanes.
But it was fine, whatever.
Airplanes are great.
Yeah, it's safe.
You're gonna take an airplane ride.
Anyway, so what happened? Aliens, I assume.
So that's what I thought when I first saw
some Foo Fighters pulling up.
Instantly aliens. Obvious answer. Turns out the co-pilot was fancying a smoke.
Okay.
So he took out his vape pen.
No.
Slyly, so that his pilot didn't notice.
Right, because it's illegal.
It is illegal. You're not allowed to do that in an airplane.
Yeah.
Let alone being the fucking co-pilot.
I mean, hold on. They used to smoke cigarettes in the cockpit, in the plane, in the cabin.
Yeah, back in the gap, but with health laws that are in effect now, it's illegal
sure, but
it's recycled air and everyone gets secondhand smoke.
But what kind of overly crazy active sensor do you have that's like, oh no, vape, drop 20,000 feet immediately?
Well, no, I don't think it's that. I'm just saying I was adding to the fact that why he was doing it slyly. Why he was trying to on the DL just be like, oh, what's in my shirt? This is weird.
Whether you agree. Exactly. Great visual.
Man.
For the YouTube and the Twitch. Great visual.
You're welcome, everybody.
He just Molly Ringwald Breakfast Club baked.
I did actually. Oh my god!
Congratulations!
I'm so proud of you. That's the lipstick.
Phenomenal. Yes,
right in my tits.
Absolutely. I love it.
Nice.
That made my day.
So
slyly fancy to smoke, took a hit of his vape and reached up, flipped the switch. Right, he thought it was just turning off the fan so that the smoke didn't go through the vents into the
and
cabin.
Then hit the alarms and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Turned off the air conditioning unit for the entire plane.
Okay.
What an idiot.
So there was no air ventilation.
Hold on. Can we just stop for a second? That he's up there operating the plane, and didn't know what button he pushed.
Nope.
That's awesome.
That's scary.
So
like, yeah, this should do it.
Yeah, never flying on Air China, but pretty much that's what it turned off all air ventilation for the entire plane. The cabin depressurized, and they fell.
Shit!
It didn't take them long to figure it out and flip it back on and get everything back up.
Yeah, but it doesn't take long to drop 21,000 feet.
Well, no. Then, so was that the plane saying there's no pressure outside because we're so high? We have to get the plane low enough, and then that's why that happened?
The autopilot did it.
Yeah,
I guess.
Or did the pilot think? Like, did the pilot say, "Holy shit, what's going on?
No.
Oh no, something must be wrong, and we have to get low." I mean, is that what happened?
No.
And he was like, "Get low," and then Lil Jon came out, and it was.
Get low, get low, get low, get low. And then everyone's like, "What are you doing on Air China?" And he's just like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Get off our plane." Okay.
And just jumps out of the parachute. Yeah.
That would
He's
have been
just sipping on lean as he
fantastic.
goes down.
Oh Jesus.
Just saying.
That would have been amazing. But no, unfortunately, that did not happen.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a fan. I would beat the shit out of that pilot if I found out. Like full blown rage, they would have called the cops on me because I'm like, you almost fucking killed us so you can hit the vape. Just go in the bathroom, deactivate the smoke sensor like the rest of us do, and just take a quick hit. Like, what's wrong with you? Go
So
tamper
sad.
with that shit and risk jail for your smoke. Don't
Yeah,
risk our
guys,
lives.
well, no.
guys are
Hold on.
dumbass.
If he would have just blew out a small little cloud, like he didn't have to clouds bro clouds. Like he could have blew out a little.
Not only
tiny
that, but it's a
poof.
vape pen. Like vape pens are not known for clouds bro clouds. So like this dude,
So what he did was unnecessary. It would
Yeah.
even if it circulated through, it would have
he
dissipated
should
well
have just put it in
before.
his shirt. Like it would have been like right here, and then it would have dissipated inside his clothes.
Mm-hmm. Or hold it
It's
in
true. They're
until
so
you blow out
hold it in
nothing.
for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. So that's, I mean, you know,
The guy's a dodo.
it,
like
it shows to go ya that
He is a
don't
dodo. He
vape
almost
where you're
went
not
off the
supposed to.
cliff, 21,000 feet. Like
Fucking
Jesus,
stupid.
that's
But yeah,
amazing.
I
though.
thought that
That's
was
crazy.
that was pretty hilarious. That
I just think it's funny that there's a button to depressurize cabin through AC.
that
that you can just
probably
hit.
shouldn't be a thing.
No, well, hold on.
I mean, there's probably a good reason for it.
That's
to
probably a
exist,
side effect of the action
of the
that
other
does.
thing.
So
yeah.
like you know that's like a thing you don't do while you're flying at 30,000 feet or whatever.
just like you don't change gears while going 80 on the highway.
you
like,
don't
suddenly-
try to stick
wow.
second gear.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
Fuck
I
that guy.
suppose that makes sense that way. But yeah, I don't
So-
know that they didn't say if they fired the guy, or anything like
he
that.
tried to illegally hit a vape pen and almost killed everyone in the process. I'd fire him.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
they said that they were launching an internal investigation, but they
No,
found out
it-
pretty much immediately what happened.
What
They
happened?
were
If he
investigating.
was American, they would be arresting him,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's you know, and he's definitely not going to be allowed to fly again. Well, I don't know. It's China, so they might just be like,
I don't
well, you
I
know,
hope
we
not.
Well,
we
they
shot.
have different laws, but I don't
we
know
shot
if
your
their laws
niece.
are that different.
So you're good.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, that's how it works some
I
places.
don't know if China's that hardcore anymore.
Well,
I'd have to
know.
look into it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but I
Oh,
mean,
I
they're
just
not.
found a.
They're not Kim Jong Un, you know. But
Yeah.
but you
Now,
know
if
what
it
I
was
mean.
flight North
pilot
Korea,
license.
it wouldn't have been 21,000 feet, so they would
No,
have been
no,
in
hold
the
on. They wouldn't have let the plane land. They'd just they'd have been like, "You die with honor." Blow it up.
shoot it straight out of the sky.
Like, what the fuck?
And then with the explosion in the sky, they'll take pictures of it and they're like, look, our missile program worked. Look,
yeah, right.
that
No.
explosion was a missile. It wasn't a plane.
No, this was us intercepting a U.S. missile attack
Yeah.
with our lasers.
Or even better, they were like the heroes on that plane saw the U.S. missile come in and they rammed the plane into the missile to protect our great leader.
Yes. Who used
honorable.
his powers of not pooping to
Oh
do
God,
something,
yeah,
I guess.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite Kim Jong Un facts.
It's not even that his shit doesn't stink. He just doesn't shit.
Yeah, he just does the shit. Oh my God. Well,
Then
dude,
why
I
are
got
there
a
bathrooms
story,
in your house, bro?
I got a well, that's for the help, bro. I got a story to trade you.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
so
It better be of
talking
equivalent or
about-
greater value, or I'm gonna have to ask you to up your game.
bro, I think you're gonna like this one. So talking about things you don't do, how
Right.
about call a hero a pedo in a tweet? How about that?
The Elon Musk
No, you're talking
fiasco.
about yep,
you
our
know what I'm
hero.
talking about?
Musk Daddy, why?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, we have a lot of respect for Elon Musk, and we talk about how awesome he is and how he's future forward thinking, yada 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 all the time,
You
right?
got a lot of cool
Yeah.
shit. Check out our episode, Enjoy Our Musk. If,
Cool guy,
if,
Elon,
if you
yeah.
want to understand, if you want to see why we like him, then hit that up.
So here's the basics. Okay.
Okay.
I guess he called this a pedo guy as part of the series of tweets, right? In retaliation to this guy's assertion in an interview that Musk's attempt to contribute to the rescue were empty posturing. and that his ideas had absolutely no chance of working, and that he's explored these caves his whole life, and that he could stick a submarine where it hurts, is what this guy said in an interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so this guy already
Now-
fired shots.
Exactly. So here's the thing, right? I agree, and I think we said this, that there's a bit of posturing that he was doing. I think
Yeah.
that there was no way that he could have made something happen to save those guys, those kids. But I think that what he did do was research and development towards things that can be used for that.
Yeah, he
Like-
tried doing something.
Like, hold on, like
And-
inflatable cave thingy that like makes an airlock, the little mini submarine. Like, these are things that he made now, right? Or at least put some R&D into.
Right.
So I guess
So even if he couldn't have completed it in time, what she was trying to, whether or not it was possible is a completely different story. In the future, if some coach decides to go explore some caves with his kids and then, whoops, we didn't pay attention to time. We're idiots.
here's the problem though, right? Is the media took hold of it and made it sound like he was the hero of the day, which he obviously was helping out, and he came up with ideas that he didn't really do anything. And then the internet was like, oh, Elon Musk is going to save the kids, right?
Right.
Now, he did not correct anyone and just was like, yeah, we're trying
We're
to
working on
make
this
this
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not
Um,
that's not really his responsibility to correct the internet. Like, he didn't say
It was
"Oh, I
his,
saved
it
the
should
day."
have been his responsibility to say yes, it's great that the heroes involved, yada yada. He shouldn't have allowed his ego to. That's what I feel, and I think. But then what happened, right? Is they were talking about making the air tunnel. They were talking about making this thing. Elon Musk said he never saw this British expat guy. He tweeted before demanding that he show a video that Musk believed would prove him right. Minutes after the initial post, Musk's tone took a turn. And he said, you know what? Don't bother showing the video. We'll make one of the mini sub pods going all the way to K5. No problem. He wrote, sorry, pedo guy. You really did ask for it. So it almost sounds like
So this was him. He was just like, you want to talk shit? All right, I never even saw your ass before this. Fuck you, you fucking pedophile looking motherfucker. So it was like when a troll hits you up online, you hit him with everything.
Yeah.
You hit him with some fucking shit,
Exactly.
Like-
and honestly, like, all bias and love for Elon Musk aside, I don't fault him for that.
Like, if someone talks shit to me on the internet, I tell them to kill themselves. Do I really want them to kill themselves? No,
absolutely not. Of course,
It's just a response of fuck you.
well, that's
right?
what
It's a
this
different
was.
way of saying, "Fuck you."
This was a fuck you response, which I
Right.
think that he was justified in, only because this guy took pretty major shots at him.
He started it,
Yeah, telling
exactly.
you to stick a submarine up
That's
his
my
ass and
opinion.
stuff
Now-
like that's not necessary.
Do you think that this is just him posturing again, though? Or do you think he's really going to finish the little submarine, bring it to the cave, and drive it all the way down to the bottom just to prove this guy wrong?
I think he's the
he'll
type
try.
of person to. I think he's got the level of pettiness within himself to make the sub and drive it all the way just to be like fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Because I mean, he's got the money. It's not like
Yeah,
he
I think he would
and the
try.
publicity that'll happen from him completing it.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
then
harm
him
in
having a
doing it.
completed product, he'll be like, hey, if you guys need a sub for something like this for your emergency services, I'm going to donate this one to the local group. It's going to be called Pedo One.
Yeah.
That's the name of the submarine.
Oh my God, that would be so amazing.
Right?
Epic,
Like,
epic.
for real. But
It
there are
would- it
people who
would
are talking
really
about how this guy could try and sue Elon and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah,
For
he said he
what?
was trying. He was considering legal action. For what? You started it. You were the
not
one.
only
being
that, but
bitch.
like, granted, it's an allegation of pedophilia, which is a serious form
Well-
of slander and everything. But
But he was just probably saying, like, this guy looks, you know what I mean? It's like,
he looks like a pedo motherfucker.
yeah, exactly.
Like, if,
you know,
all I
In
can imagine
context,
is that
he
guy
wasn't
having the
accusing
glasses.
guy.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because obviously Elon Musk has no proof that this guy's actually a pedophile or anything
No,
like
of
that.
course not.
So
Of
it's
course
not like he's like exposed. You're a pedophile.
But dude,
It's
the
more of
internet,
a-
the internet
guy.
fucking exploded with this shit, though.
Of course they did, because it's Elon Musk typing in something. and like hitting up what is now considered an international hero.
Now, do you think that he crossed a line, though? Like, do you think that he should have reined that back because this is one
I
of these
think
divers who is a hero who did save these
Absolutely not.
kids?
now I don't think he should rein back in that. I don't think like if a guy talks shit, you talk shit back. However, I think he should have chosen his words more carefully. I think a simple fuck you and the horse you rode in on, and I'm going to prove you wrong would be good. The fact that he went into that other place is what caused everyone to freak out. Because
Yeah,
once you say pedo, it's just like, whoa,
yeah.
you know. So
I don't
I
know,
think I think it's something to where it should be. This should all blow over. But I do know that after this happened, Elon Musk's stocks in the United Nations dropped by like 2%.
Oh yeah, big time. Because
Which
it was
all I
back
gotta
before
say
that.
is for all the investors who are just like, fuck yes, let me buy now, because that's
Uh-huh.
just gonna shoot right back up
Yeah.
once this blows over.
Of
So you
course
just
it
got
will.
a 2% discount. Thanks, Elon.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Nobody-
a great point.
wins
Nobody
again.
hurt him. And honestly, losing faith in his company because of something like that. Meanwhile, he's building freaking spaceships to probably go to one of those crazy new moons Jordan was telling us about before.
Yeah.
Um,
One
you
of
know,
those.
And if there's
12
water
new
on it,
fucking
drop the
moons.
submarine in it.
yeah,
Go
And then-
to go,
and
it
then
explodes.
and then
Save the aliens.
exactly. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's an excellent plan. But yeah, I was wondering, did you guys hear about that? That they somehow
Well, you told us,
Just
and now
now.
we're segueing into it. So yes, we
Oh,
did hear about it.
Go ahead.
Dumbass fucking question.
Talking to our audience. Talking to our audience.
Oh, those
Oh,
guys. Well,
those-
let's say, hey, Five. Have
Hey.
you heard about this?
Hey,
Yeah.
5. You, and you. Did you
Yeah.
hear that they just now? That was 5.
That
Oh,
was
good
fine.
job. Good job.
You can
They
count.
they just now discovered 12 new moons orbiting Jupiter, bringing the total amount of moons to fucking 79 for some reason.
So
That's 10 moons too many.
it's yeah, right.
Great
we
point.
need to start an initiative, send rockets, blow up 10 of them, 69 moons. Giga.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you.
No, I mean, I could see how this can happen and how it can happen kind of at the same time, right? So, like, I don't know. We have these telescopes and whatnot up there, but Jupiter's far as fuck.
It is.
You know, and
Yeah.
we have to see things that are far away, not because we can actually see them a lot of times, but because we'll see it like appear here and then kind of disappear a little and then appear here and disappear.
So that
and
means
then-
there's something in between
exactly
that caused it to block out a view. And the other thing I'd have to say is, how often are we staring at Jupiter? Like, we've studied the shit out of it. Every now and then we'll just take another look with a big ass telescope because we made some sort of improvement just to see if there's something new. But we're not like hardcore, like, oh, what's at Jupiter? Let's keep
Now, I
looking
wonder
for
if-
50 years. you
I
know?
wonder if any of them are going to be like, what's the one? It's Titan or Europa? It's one of those. I don't know. I might have that all wrong.
Let me
One of
see.
those might be Saturn. But, you know, because there's the moons out there that are possibly habitable or possibly have
Yeah, they have like ice
water.
and stuff.
You know, that might be with the use of like space mirrors and stuff and domes to live in.
Could heat it up to.
Yeah, it could exactly. So like that might be fucking cool.
That would
I
be.
don't know.
I'm looking it up right now and I'm curious.
That would be absolutely lit. I would love it if we had some moon bases. Maybe that's the only benefit of the space force that we're gonna have.
You know what? Hold on. Let's. I would like to just for a minute. Let's talk about Space Force for a second. Okay.
Space Force. If they don't have an 80s montage of like ridiculousness, like it was some sort of 80s action
is
team,
Europa, by
A
the way.
team. It is Europa. Cool.
Okay.
If they don't have like an A team opening for their recruitment,
Yeah.
I am going
I
to be
wonder
so
what-
disappointed in this country. They better
But you know
have
what,
like
though? It's
vector
gonna be hard.
graphics
So
and like
here's-
lasers.
So hold on. Here's my thing.
Okay.
They would that means that they're about to put massive funding into ways to get in and out of orbit, ways to have defensive and offensive weaponry. I actually
Mobile weaponry, something
I
you can
just seen
drive
this-
out there and fire weapons with.
hold on. I seen this thing recently. How lasers that we have on Earth are already so strong that like they can cut stuff. You know that
Yeah.
in space because of it being in the vacuum and yada yada. Those same lasers would be like intensified and have extremely long range. So it was talking about like space battles, right? And how space battles wouldn't be like near each other because you'd have to be far as fuck away from each other to try to not get hit. I don't know. What are we gonna do? What is the point?
Well, that's my whole thing is how do you dodge a laser?
You don't actually.
It's the speed of light. You literally can't like fire your way out of it because like they always show lasers in like like Star Wars and stuff. It's like and you see it as like projectiles. It's not. It'd be like
technically plasma bolts, but
pardon me. Excuse me. Did I not refer to the extended universe for you enough? You fuck.
I'm just saying that they're not really lasers. No, so
they're powered by the Force.
They are forced. You're right. You're right. So, like, let's say you're in space and somebody fucking shoots you with a laser. You'd know when you're getting shot, and then you could try to dip away or dodge away or something.
Yeah, but how much damage does it do in the meantime? Exactly. Not only that, but like, what if they just put mirrors all over their ship?
Yeah, right. That's
like that. Then that's the shields we got.
Well, the mirror could handle it only to a certain point, so it would work like shields. That would actually be funny as fuck. Except for
if that's our there's like a fiber optic.
No, whatever. Except for they're like, oh, they're deploying countermeasures, and the countermeasures a fucking disco ball.
They just fire the disco ball. It's like in Guardians 2.
Oh fuck.
Do you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with the mining ship? Which, I'm sorry, in the Guardians 2 movie, as much as I loved, that movie just because, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, there were too many instances of an entire armada of ships shooting one piece of shit ship and it living, and then that one piece of shit ship shooting all of the other ships and them dying. That was a mining ship. It wasn't even a combat ship, and it took all of those fucking shots, and then it fired one mining thing and blew up the entire armada.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I disagree with a lot of that too, and that's why I appreciate sci-fi that acknowledges those kinds of things, because it's kind of annoying, but whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, but anyway, the stuff with the Space Force I think is crazy, and I think we're gonna go up there and we're gonna start Space Wars, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
Space Wars with the Space Force.
Well, no, because now it's gonna be a rush to who has a military base on the moon first, or who has
it's a new arms race.
And honestly, I'm okay with it because without a military,
we got Musk.
Well, yeah, we do in multiple ways. But without a military driving force behind it, like to be like, we're there because
to get here.
Yeah. Then otherwise it'd never fucking happen.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is
I agree. It's
the benefits of it for a country like ours is we can technically afford it. Like, it doesn't feel like we can until you look at the military budget, and then you look at every other country's military budget.
Mm-hmm.
If we just cut out a bunch of the black ops and like side projects, like that one fucking bomber that was a complete failure that they made like 100 of, and it was like trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
If they just put that into the Space Force instead, we could feasibly have a decent chance at being first, and having a military power of that nature to where we could just eject the president into space to keep him safe if someone nukes us, and then we're the only ones left.
No, not for nothing, but we could build little fighter type things and send them up in a rocket and bring them up there one at a time and have some type of I mean, I think it
like
can have
a refueling station, like, and then obviously, like you said, moon base will be incredibly important.
Yeah.
And especially with, I mean, again, bringing it back to Elon Musk, especially with the heavy Type 9s and the reusable rockets and things like that, it's way more feasible to send out parts because it's way more cost effective now than it used to be. So you can build massive structures in space.
There's already a method of transportation up there in the form of a Tesla Roadster.
Exactly. You know what? If you catch up to the Roadster, you've got your first vehicle for the Space Force. Slap a laser on the front and just kind of lean forward.
Bro.
You know why I'm excited about it? But real quick, because we're going to go to break here soon because we're getting there. But I have one story, and I'm going to turn it into a one question game with you guys real quick. But anyway, but the reason I'm so excited for Space Force is because I love sci-fi. I love that so much. And the idea of a fighter jet type spacecraft, like in our livable future,
in
our lifetime,
where we're going to see like squadrons of these things like flipping around. That'd be so fucking cool.
Because
Anyway.
you know they would
It would.
immediately put that shit on the internet and live stream like a testing, like an exercise of them shooting targets and stuff. You know that's
Yes.
going to be a thing.
It would be so awesome.
Live stream VR space dogfights.
Dude, you know what? That's my shit. That's what I really want to see.
That's my shit.
No, you don't understand. That's one of the things I really want to see is, you know how they always have those like the check-ins with the space station, and it's like a video that you watch and
Yeah.
they stream the video.
Yeah.
If they somehow set it up to where they had a VR setup to where we could be there and look around and then see the, like, we're in the station with them as they talk to us, amazing. I
That
watched a
would be super
documentary
cool.
that was made for VR. It was one of the coolest documentaries I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, because you're looking around and it's all about a virus that caused real world damage. You know what? I'll talk about it on a show in the future. I won't talk about it.
Real quick before we do break, I have one story I want to go over just real quick. I think it's gonna go fast. But we're gonna make this is this Florida or nah? Real quick.
Okay.
All right.
And actually, I think I told you guys about the story, so this is fully based on whether you.
This is for the 5. Hey, you guys, Florida or not?
This guy bit off his brother's penis
Florida.
in defense of his Dragon Ball Z blanket.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think?
As soon as I heard bit dick, Florida.
There's no way it can't be.
It is Florida man. All right, so listen. I want you to listen to what I say closely. Okay.
Okay.
Listening
So
closely.
the Florida man walked in on his brother having sex with his cousin.
Florida.
Okay, Florida. So apparently, to make it even worse, this unholy act, as the article puts it, was being committed on top of his favorite Dragon Ball Z cover.
So he was fucking him on his brother's bed?
Fucking
His cousin
his cousin
on his brother's bed.
on his brother's bed on
That's
his
just
brother's
rude.
Dragon Ball Z blanket.
That's just rude.
So I guess during
That
what they
is
said,
rude.
during the ensuing melee, which I think it's funny that they're writing it this way, right? The Florida man bit off his brother's penis, which, aside from where it had just been, seems to me to be at least as severe a violation as the very act that sparked the confrontation.
Like, that's just fucked up on so many levels, dude.
Holy
Jesus.
fucking shit. Okay,
Like,
so
how
then,
in the middle of a fight do you get to the point where you can aim your mouth accurately to get to the dick and rip it off, you know?
you're just like fighting, dick in the mouth.
Ugh.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How
Or
does
was
that
it
even
like,
happen?
and was it even like an intentional, like, I'm going to go for the dick with my mouth? Or was it something to where the dick slapped him in the mouth, he thought it was
First
like a thumb?
opportunity.
Or it could have been something where he's like fighting
Well,
the
maybe
shit
he
out
was
of this guy.
losing, right? Maybe he was losing. Maybe he had like his head in like a neck lock, and he was just like, "Dick." Who knows?
Could be. Or I'm
don't
thinking
know.
maybe
I've
they're
been in
fighting
a
and
lot
the
of
brother
fights.
readjusted and the dick smacked the brother in the face and he thought it was like part of the brother's hand or something, tried to bite a finger off, ended up being the head of the dick.
So
I've fought with my brothers a lot growing up, and
No dick in
I
the
can
mouth?
confidently say not once has it
Not-
ever been like a remote possibility.
Yeah,
the dick in your mouth. Yeah, but
but
hold
were
on.
your brothers naked at any point while fighting?
Did you walk in
No.
on your brother's fucking your cousin on your bed
On your DBZ blanket.
on your DBZ blanket?
That's
Exactly.
You don't want
That's
to
a
see no
really
jizz
good
on
point.
Goku. You better
Goku.
protect that waifu.
Jesus God. Okay,
God
so
damn it.
You go Super Saiyan God mode and you
this
fight that
is
dick.
where I was like, oh my God, ew, when I realized the last sentence. Police
Okay.
took him into custody and swiftly booked him, as is evident by the dried brother dick blood on his face in the booking photo. And then I scrolled back up and looked at the photo, and I was like, oh, he's got blood on his face. I
They didn't even
assume
let him wash up.
from his dick, from his brother.
Yeah, no, that was blood dick.
Ah,
That was dick blood.
Lord.
And
Have you ever been so mad you bit your brother's dick off?
never bit your brother's dick off.
You may be a redneck.
Oh shit. Anyway,
I need to go to break so I can fathom what the fuck I just
what the
listened
fuck
to.
just happened? So, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and go to break. If you're here for the video version, you know, we're just gonna
Give you a treat.
sit here quietly. So
In this case, the treat might just be a tour of the new digs for Patrick's new setup.
Anyway, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. And I'm not recording.
Samesies.
I will be right back. You guys,
I'll be right back.
hold it down for a second.
I can't.
Okay. I need ice,
Nothing
Nice.
personnel, kid.
baby.
Doom, 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 doom. Let me just. I realized that I had minimized our stream stuff. So I have no idea if people are in the chat. So if you're in the chat and I've been ignoring you, I'm so sorry. I'm bringing it back up now. I'm a terrible person. There's that sound again. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm going to be murdered. All 0 viewers. Hey, twitch.tv.
Yeah.
Let's go. Then again, there might have been a viewer at some point, and then I ignored them. I'd have to check the chat log later. See if someone was like, hi, guys. And then when they didn't get any response, they're like, oh.
That makes me sad.
That makes me sad. I think it's your vape.
What?
The click, click, click sound.
That's impossible.
That's improbable.
It's impossible.
Impossible. Oh, I have such a headache. I don't know if you're here for that, but I may have the beginnings of glaucoma in one of my eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
So good.
So my eye doctor's like, can you come back like a year from now and not wait 4 years in between your appointments this time? I'm like, yeah, now that I have something that we actually have to pay attention to, I guess. Because before I was just wearing my glasses until they stopped working as well, and then I would go in and be like, hey, it's a little blurry. I want my HD back. And they're like, oh, here's your new prescription, and then everything's fine. But yeah, they were like, hey, one of your ocular nerves is a little bigger than it normally would be. It's a little weird.
Not good.
Your eye is doing fine. It seems to be a healthy nerve, which is good, and there doesn't seem to be any form of pressure on the eye, which is a symptom of glaucoma. So it should be fine, but it may like turn to glaucoma. So he wants me to go every year to monitor the situation.
That sucks, man. I hope
It does, because I don't want to. I hate eye doctors. Well, I hate all doctors. I don't mean like on a personal level. Like I hate doctors. You're a doctor. Fuck you. It's more of a. I don't like spending some of my time to have somebody say, yeah, you're fine, or no, you're not. Because you either get the good news of everything's healthy and fine to where you're like, this is a waste of time and money. Or you get the bad news of, hey, you got like 2 types of cancer. And they're like, well, shit, this was a terrible day. No matter what, there's nothing
what is 2/3 cancer?
No, 2 types of cancer.
2 types of cancer. Hey, look, I'm here. How are you?
Sir.
I'm Patman.
Patrick Power.
So I'm currently standing. Figuring out that I'm back. I got my ice in my cup. You can see it's right there. It's good stuff right there.
Baby.
So real quick, just kind of want to be like, hey, look at my digs. Show you what I did. So let me put the mic down so I can hold
it. My horse is amazing.
Like,
Give him a lick. He tastes just like raisins.
Okay. I love that so much, by the way.
Y'all are weird.
Why?
I don't know why.
Okay, so you're not gonna be able to hear me very good, but got a shelf. Got my starships on it right there. Check that out. And a tribble. I got that at MegaCon this last time we went.
Nerd.
Check these out. Enterprise. Then over there is just some Funko Pops. That's all new right there. And all my Doctor Who stuff. Neat, right?
Pretty neat, man.
So like this stuff's all new. So like this, I just got that, right? That's pretty cool. It's one of my favorites. That's new. And honestly, like those are prints, but the actual painting of that, they were so expensive. I don't understand how people buy art, man. It's like it's insane.
They don't. They buy prints.
I see that because that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, anticlimactic, which we already
Whoa.
knew,
No, I'm
but
just kidding. That's pretty cool, man.
not everybody can see where I hang out usually. It was the reason that this is such a big deal, in case anybody's like, what, I don't get it, is that this all over here where that little shelf was, where like all my little starships were, that was a pile of shit. Like, and then all this art, instead of it being up on the walls and like all the posters being up on the walls, they were just stacked over in the corner, just sitting there.
Now they're all framed and nice.
Yeah, now it's all framed up. It's all up on the walls. And now I have more to come. I'm gonna get a couple more shelves over here for some more like spaceshipy vibe stuff. But you see what I'm talking about, right? Like I really dig the the sci-fi. So
Yeah, you have a sci-fi boner.
I do.
It's okay. Sometimes you just gotta have a sci-fi boner.
Always.
And sometimes you feel like a nut. Anyway, what'd you guys talk about for a break while I was off?
How much we hate
my
this guy Patrick.
fuck that guy. My potential
fuck that guy.
glaucoma of the future, and
yeah.
and also just how doctor's appointments suck in general, because you either get the good news that you're healthy, and then you're like, oh, I wasted time and money by being here because there's nothing wrong with me, or you get the bad news if something's wrong. So no matter what, you're just going there to hopefully just waste money.
Yeah, probably.
So doctor's appointments suck in that regard, to where you never feel truly good about it. Even if it's a good result, you're just like, oh, that's a relief. And then you're like, that was like $60.
That's true.
That I could have used for 3 pizzas.
True that.
Like,
True.
fuck, I'm not as excited about the value that I just got out of this visit. But, that's just one cynical guy. Me, his opinion. You don't gotta take it to heart or whatever.
Or do.
Yeah, take it to heart, please.
Take it to the heart.
Do it.
Take it to the heart.
There's
So
more words after that, and I just drew a complete blank.
here in a second we'll
Same,
go.
that's
we'll
why
come
I
back.
stopped.
What are we doing when we come back? Do we remember the
Nope.
the Daily Girl Bros?
The what, bros?
Girl Bros?
Ooh, I think
What
Bryce
girl
was
bros?
gonna do his story that I'm.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do the
Stanford prison experiment.
cool. Okay.
This is like a money shot of these types of situations. I love this experiment. It's not perfect by any means for a litany of reasons. You son of a bitch. All right. Actually, might get me some cherry limeade. I don't know. I definitely need to put batteries in my vape, but I'm pantsless right now. I don't want the world to see my pantslessness. Pretty sure that's a Twitch terms of service thing, so I'm just gonna reach back here. I was wearing these the whole time, if anyone asked. There's no proof. You can't tell if I'm putting on pants or if I'm just miming putting on pants for the sake of comedy. This could be me faking it, just to pretend, just for a gag on the show.
I think everybody should really appreciate that you just did that on the camera live and did not pussy out.
Yeah, there's no showing of the bits. Everything's fine.
Good job.
I had pants on the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else? What else, kids? Yeah, anybody watching YouTube, that means that you come here. So you'll notice that we
What a way to put it, man. Great job.
Like, I mean, it's truth, bro. You'll notice that we now have our images are now going to start matching with our Facebook release, so that's exciting. I attempted to do a thing today, so there's an image of us up there. Hopefully everybody likes that.
Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch. 10, 20s and 50s chick.
Bryce is rapping for everyone, as you can see.
VIP, no guesses.
Jordan, did you watch any of the Zoom challenge videos?
Just that one that you sent me.
It's so funny.
It just blows me away.
Well, because there's always a new challenge. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So, okay, so like there's always a new thing that starts on the internet or that a viral video or whatever that then becomes a challenge. You have to do it. So somebody released a video of that and then it became a Zoom challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you hear about the... Oh, God, what was it called? It was something fur. There was a something fur challenge. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, it's you tricking your pet to where you have a blanket.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it's a specific challenge as well. And it's
so
just,
you hold it up and you drop it, and you hold it up and you drop it, and you hold it up, and then when you drop it, you disappear somewhere.
Yeah,
and
and
the
then you
pet's
see
like,
the pet's
"What the
reaction where they're like, well, magic, where did you go? Or
Yeah.
some of them are just like, I'm going to lay on the blanket you dropped on the ground.
It depends on how hype I got my animals. My cats would just walk away. They'd be like, good, the human is gone.
Fucking hated that guy anyway.
Exactly.
He got mad at me.
Up until their litter box gets too full or they want food. Then they're like, we need you, human. Do my bidding.
He disappeared in such a way that his corpse isn't even here for us to eat and shit on. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want cats.
Cats are great.
No, they're great. It's just that they're bent on world domination and they don't
Everyone
care.
talks about how a cat will eat you after you die and how dogs will like lay next to you or whatever. Let me tell you something. Dogs will lay next to you till they get hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They might wait longer. I don't know if there's been a science experiment with cadavers of recently deceased people and their pets to see which lovable pet is like cuddly with the dead body for longer before they start eating. But a dog will eat your ass just like a cat.
Well, maybe eventually. I don't know if they would or wouldn't. It's just that dogs, the relationship they form is different than a relationship that cats form. It's not the same. So like my cat,
different style for sure.
My cat comes and sees me when I get home and comes in and all that stuff. Like comes when I call him for the most part. You know, when I'm holding him, he specifically like jams his fucking face into mine. He doesn't do that to anyone else, and I think that's because I'm like his owner. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah. But I think that he would just be like, well, who's next? New human, please. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's possible. But I don't know. My cat, she is very sweet in that if I cry out in pain, like if I stub my toe or something, she'll run over to check on me and stuff. And she'll start like headbutting my leg, like, you okay? You all right? It sounded like that hurt. And I'm like, yeah, it did hurt. Now you're being annoying. She's like, all right,
but hold on. The actual truth is she ran over there to see if there's any blood to lick up.
That's more believable.
I don't think my cat has a taste for human flesh as of yet.
It might happen.
You don't know.
You're right. I haven't bled all over her to where she could lick it up. So
yeah, that's the problem. I do it to my cats to see whether or not they're gonna turn on me.
You know what? Next,
you like prick your finger and you're just like, you gonna lick it, and they're just like, and you're like, all right.
Next week's show break, we're gonna do that. That's gonna be our treat for YouTube.
We're gonna cut ourselves and see if our pets eat it. See if they'll turn on us in the eventual death.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's fun. This show just got real weird real quick.
Speaking of real weird real quick, why don't we get back to the show? We'll come back in. Jordan will bring us back from break. Somehow get into Bryce's thingy.
I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm excited about this.
Cool. And then we'll And then depending on where we're at when we're done with that, because it's probably going to be a long one.
It'll be a decent amount of time because we'll probably have questions like normal.
We may or may not go into the other thing, the Reddit thing. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready to hit record?
Yep.
All right, I'm recording now.
I'm recording.
I too am the recording.
All right, Jordan.
Let's do
Huh?
it.
Bully's going in your butt. Three,
Three,
two, one,
go.
go.
Welcome back, everybody, from the break. I hate Bryce more and more.
I don't know why you hate me. That doesn't make any sense.
Every 3 weeks, man.
Did you dodge it? Did you dodge the butt shot that he just took at you?
I have no
Barely.
idea what they're talking about.
Barely.
I cannot confirm nor deny any allegations at this
Anybody
time.
can confirm if they just go back and watch the video.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no video.
Nope.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm happy to be back.
What's the password for the YouTube again? I have to do something.
I don't remember.
No.
The only reason I can get in here to make this show happen every week on YouTube is because it's
Chrome
auto
saves
saved.
password.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. You're going to be one of those people.
I'm
I
gonna-
can't get in.
I'm
No, I
gonna-
need to. It's important. My podcast is there.
I'm gonna call.
I can't log
I'm gonna
in.
call Company Redacted and be like, I can't get into my YouTube. You need to
They're
fix
like,
it.
why
for
are
me."
you calling us? You don't understand.
Let
I'm
me
losing
transfer you to
potential
Bryce's
millions.
company, redacted.
Yeah, we'll transfer and we'll just I'll be like, they'll be like, you have a
I'll be like,
Windows.
this wasn't even on that device. Get out of here.
I'll be like, but my podcast.
My podcast is on iTunes and Google Play. Someone has to help me. And then I just shoot him.
I don't know if
Patrick's
anybody
headphones just
this.
fell.
No, I knocked the cord, unplugged it.
And then smoothly plugged it back in.
No, I took him off and I was like, fucking stupid.
I didn't even notice. That was amazing.
Oh shit. So yeah, I think we have something cool to talk about. It's
Very excited about this.
I will. I do
Yeah.
want to put a warning out there because I do get some feedback from some people
Okay.
that when sometimes certain topics go on for a while, this one may, just so you are aware. We tried to chop it up real nice for the first half, so just letting you know. But I think it's going to be fucking awesome. So please sit back, relax, and listen to Bryce's soothing voice.
Hello, everybody. This is my soothing voice coming out just for you.
I was looking down. That creeped the shit out of me, man.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Oh, man. let's go.
If you guys listened to a couple episodes back, I've been obsessing over psychological experimentation. Just because there's been a lot of things in the media that I've been playing and viewing recently that have had to do with that. So I've been, looking at the source material for some of these ideas that people have had. And one of the most famous examples of a social psychology experiment is known as the Stanford prison experiment. No, the lizard people are just real.
Sorry.
We've already gone over that in the conspiracy corner. Illuminati lizard people. Obama blinked with sideways eyes. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, we proved it. I'm
That's
sorry.
just science.
I thought that's where we were going. I got excited. I'm sorry.
Pop the boner down.
Continue.
Anyways, so essentially, Stanford, the university, the famous college of much renown, in 1971, they decided they wanted to investigate the psychological effects of perceived power. Basically, they were looking. Yeah, they were looking into.
What do you mean by power, though? If you could elaborate, or maybe I should just shut up. Let me just listen.
Well, yeah, because essentially the perceived power is essentially you having power over another being, like you being better than them, or you being like you having some sort of perception that the other person is lesser than you because you have a higher position. So specifically, they were looking into prisons and how there is a struggle between prison guards and prisoners, and it doesn't matter what ethnicity the prison guard is, doesn't matter, what's going on. I mean, ethnicity probably doesn't help, but it's one of those things where they notice consistently there is always a struggle to where prison guards are treated badly by prisoners and prisoners are treated badly by prison guards, and they're both just like, fuck you to the other.
Exactly.
But obviously one has more power to treat the other one badly. Prisoners can talk shit. prison guards can beat you with nightsticks. Like, there's a difference there.
Yeah.
And so they wanted
they beat you with a bag of onions, so
yeah, no bruises.
Exactly.
Soap in a sock, just saying.
Soap in a sock, yeah.
So anyways, a research group led by the psychology professor there, Philip Zimbardo. He put up an ad for college students to apply for a study. And in the study, volunteers were randomly assigned to be either guards or prisoners in a mock prison. And Zimbardo himself was serving as like the superintendent, which was essentially the warden. He was the warden of the experiment. Several prisoners left mid-experiment, and the whole experiment was abandoned after 6 days. This was supposed to take place over 2 weeks. They were going to be paid like $100 a day, which, granted, that doesn't sound like too much now, but in 1971, that was balling money.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. Yeah,
like that's a semester of college in 2 weeks. Just thanks. Like,
paid for by the military, right?
Yeah, it was the experiment was funded by the U.S. Office of Naval Research because they wanted to see, because when they had guards in prisons in the United States Navy and the Marine Corps, specifically their internal prisons like MPs and stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, you're all raised under the military. You're supposed to be brothers and sisters in arms. Yet the moment you become a prisoner and they become prison guards, there's this huge, like, all that military background that's shared between you. There's no longer a brother and sisterhood. It's all blown straight out of the water.
Well, now, is that because of perceived power, or is that because of a perceived line drawn between
like,
you and this person?
Breaking loyalty type deal.
Like, well, I mean, you're a criminal and I'm not. You know,
right?
I mean?
Well,
like,
and that's the thing. That's also because essentially what they wanted to see is, with a prison guard, you're allowed to do certain things to prisoners in order to keep them in line. How often you abuse that when you're given that privilege, that power. That's what they're looking into. And they're also trying to see if the reason why the prisoners hate the guards is because they abuse that power. Like, I'm not allowed to punch you in the face, mano a mano, together. But if I'm a prisoner guard and you're a prisoner, and I just say, yeah, he talks shit, I can beat the fuck out of you with a nightstick and then walk out scot-free, not even like on paid administrative leave, nothing. Show up to work the next day. Like that kind of shit. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but
no. I get what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah. So essentially, it got abandoned after 6 days. Students quickly, like when they started off the experience, students quickly embraced their roles. There were guards who enforced authoritarian measures and would psychologically torture the prisoners. So they would just play music to annoy the shit out of people on repeat and stuff. And they were like, oh, you're not going to get out, and all this fucked up shit immediately within it. And a lot of prisoners actually passively accepted the psychological abuse, and by request of the people in power would actually start abusing other prisoners because the guard told them to do it.
Okay, now was that for in turn, I won't beat you?
Essentially, yes. It was like, hey, do this, and then.
So is that psychological control, or is that person saying, well, I don't give no fucks about them and I don't want to be beat anymore, so sure?
Well, I mean,
probably a mixture of both, I would assume.
It is a bit of both, because it's one of those things where these prisoners weren't, the prison guards here weren't necessarily allowed to beat the prisoners. So it wasn't like a beat thing. It was more like a psychological torture thing, but it was still turning someone against someone who they perceive as equals, specifically to avoid any kind of repercussion, or just and basically turn that other person into, that's not a human. Because the thing is, even if I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this person, you doing that to them means you don't see them as human anymore. They're an other, and you're protecting yourself by hurting something that doesn't matter. Even though before this, you were all on equal ground, all humans, all students. And
now you're the guard's pawn.
Now you're the guard's pawn. And there was footage. They recorded this experiment. And it's really interesting on how it worked, because some of the guards' behavior led to some really dangerous and psychologically damaging situations. 1/3 of the guards were judged to have exhibited genuine sadistic tendencies, and many of the prisoners were emotionally traumatized, and 5 of them had to be removed from the experiment early. And they had both deeply absorbed their roles to the effect that, and even he, as the warden, got sucked up in all this, even though he's supposed to be like watching the experiment passively and trying to, keep balance and everything. He started getting into the position of the warden and like awarding the prisoners or the guards with certain things, and even thinking to himself, yeah, fuck that guy, he should have done this or that. The guards should have tortured him, even though the prisoner really didn't do anything except sit in his jail cell. He just voiced like, hey, this is really not cool for the, I get that I'm being paid to do this, but this is fucked up. And then the guards would be like, hey, beat this guy up, or, like, fuck with this guy. Because they're trying to stop the experiment. He's like, yeah, fuck that guy, he's trying to stop this. Even though he shouldn't have done that. That's just completely unethical. And it's just amazing how quickly they all went to shit and how quickly they all embraced their roles. And there's actually a movie. There's 2 film adaptations of this experiment. And one was made more recently, because there was one in like 1977. And then there was one in 20
of movies of
2015.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was just movies of this.
So what is like some of the craziest stuff that happened? So like I get the idea that, like did anybody die? Did anybody like go crazy or nuts from it, or were there like outstanding repercussions?
There were people who had severe PTSD after the experiment for like years after, to where it was like some of the prisoners were like permanently scarred by what they had experienced. Those were the 5 who got ejected early, because they couldn't deal with it anymore. They were just like, this is so fucked. And
pretty fucked though. It is,
right,
though.
like when you have to leave an experiment where you're getting paid massive amounts of money to essentially sit there and just be a prisoner in a jail. It's a little insane. I'm trying to find if there's any
6
specific
days, not even a week.
And it was supposed to be for 2 weeks, but it
was. But if you're brought in and you're like, okay, you're the warden and or you're the guard or whatever, I just think that people in general, and we've said this before, people in general are pieces of shit. So you tell somebody that here's the power, they're going to 100% be okay with abusing said power, especially if they're told it's okay for said experiment. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then anybody that's under them that they're, let's say, have the power over, they know it's an experiment and they're going to be able to react accordingly. I just think that
but I would think that
it's a melting pot for disaster is what it is.
Oh, absolutely. But I would think that in the guards' perspective, they knew they were being observed. I would assume that would lead to some sort of restraint.
Like filter in their brain.
Yeah.
Not if they were told to that it wouldn't matter.
You're a prison guard.
Given that permission.
And one of the things that's interesting about this is one of the guards was actually quoted to saying, it's easy for you to say, oh, I wouldn't have acted that way, but you don't know. And that's the truth. You don't know. And now I know what I'm capable of, and it hurts. Like after he was brought out of the experiment and he was shown the footage of what he did and what he was a part of, he actually fell into a depression about the fact that he's a piece of shit. And he's just like, wow, I was really cruel. And like, I'm fucked up. And like, I don't know how I got to that spot, because they would do weird stuff. Like they would just say, the guards would tell all the other people, hey, say prisoner 619, because they were all the prisoners were reduced to numbers. They didn't have names, they were just numbers.
Which I mean is common, especially in
right.
prisons.
Yeah, that's just regular prison stuff.
Down, yeah.
But they would tell the prisoners, hey, say prisoner 619 did a bad thing 20 times. And then they would actually end up saying it 24 times. They would go above and beyond the initial request. And it would fuck with people. They would start to feel guilty, like they had done something wrong. Even some of the prisoners who they're being told, you did something wrong, you did something wrong, you did something wrong.
Over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, sure. I can
even though they know that they did nothing but sit there, they started to feel guilty, like they had done something wrong. And that was part of like the PTSD stuff. Is some people had like residual guilt from things that didn't happen. Some people had like nightmares that they were back in the prison. Like there's all kinds of fucked up shit that happened
Yeah.
from this experiment. But I just found it absolutely fascinating.
No, I do too. I think any experiment that is like a social experiment where they go as far as this, and now this kind of stuff doesn't happen as much nowadays. You know, it
Yeah,
does.
because we have like ethics and shit
It does
preventing
on a different
experiments from
level.
happening. Yeah.
You know, it does on a different level. You know, it would thank, but not like that's fucking nuts, man. That's
Right.
crazy. That's actually, and because we still have a few minutes, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. That's about as crazy as fucking Thanos thinking it's a good idea
Jesus Christ.
to snap his fingers
Oh Lord.
and get
And then
rid of
half of the universe.
being gone. That's stupid. What do you think?
You would say
Fight
that.
me. No, actually,
I agree that it's stupid that he did the half of the universe thing, but at the same time, I can see why he chose to do that. Because some people counter argue his thoughts. And they say, well, he could have snapped his fingers and just made more resources for everyone, because that's his concern, is that they're going to run out of resources at the population of the universe. So snap your fingers and half the population. Now there's suddenly an abundance of resources, and that whole thing. The problem with doing it the opposite way, to where you create more resources, is people who are in positions of power within all these different like systems would hoard the shit out of those resources, and they still wouldn't make it where they need to be.
What if I told you that there were entire groups of people, namely and largely on Reddit, that believe strongly that Thanos did nothing wrong?
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
So there was this event that happened, and I think it's hilarious. Over 300,000 accounts were part of the Thanos did nothing wrong Reddit thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up becoming the largest mass banning of a Reddit thread ever. It became like this whole big thing. People were making bets in an official bet thread to get tattoos and shit.
Or if they got banned and
Josh
they were one
Brolin,
of the 50%.
Josh Brolin and Joe Russo took notice of it.
Did they join the subreddit to see if they'd get banned?
I don't know if hold on, Brolin, before snapping a video, Russo posted to the subreddit. So yeah, no, they posted in the subreddit. So
that's amazing.
So then it jumped out on Twitch. What's up, Twitch? It jumped out on Twitch, and as members were unceremoniously removed in real time, they actually ban half the fucking
half the roster
in real time. Many of them went over to In the Soul Stone, another Reddit thread. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. And people are just saying that it was so successful and so amazing. The moderator actually stepped down, just like Thanos did, right?
Oh, so you can watch over the sunset.
Exactly. He said, "I may watch the sunrise on a grateful universe." So it's hilarious. For now, more than 599,000 members remain subbed, as banned users are expected to honor the deal and unsubscribe themselves.
Right.
Yeah, and then In the Soulstone, meanwhile, has already accrued more than 200,000 members there. So people are banding together and playing along with it, and I think it's fucking awesome.
I love shit like that because that builds an interesting community. Because you've been part of an event to where all of a sudden you experienced the exact same thing and you came out on one side or the other. So you're with all the people who survived. You're like, we're the survivors. We're outside of the Soulstone. You have your own memes, your own thoughts, and the other side can't see that, even though they were part of the same community.
Yep.
So what's fascinating for me, is if they both honor it and it's truly a separate segmentation.
Well, I'm sure some people won't, but there's going to be a lot of people
they won't. There's going to be
a lot of people who do. Yeah.
But if we were somehow able to create two controlled environments where they couldn't interact with each other anymore, how would they evolve in their memes? How would they evolve in their like? I just think that would be interesting. Coming out with that being the only separating factor, what on this side would come forth and what on this side would come forth, and if you smash it together after the next movie, what would happen then? Like, would the ideas be similar? Would they be different? We should Stanford experiment that shit.
I think we should, but
the side with Thanos and the side without.
I thought that we really needed. I really wanted to tell you guys about this because I thought it was fucking hilarious.
No, that's cool as shit.
that they actually took part in the largest ban ever, all
And
at
it was
one
Reddit
time.
themselves. It was Reddit who did the live stream.
Yeah. They streamed it, and they actually streamed it where you could see a scroll just going with names.
And you could see who was getting on the chopping block.
Names popping up. Yeah, it was pretty fucking awesome, man.
So you watch in real time to see if you turn to dust.
Yep.
Mr. Reddit, I don't feel so good.
Mr. Reddit. Oh man, I think on that, guys. I think I don't feel so good.
Oh no,
Oh,
Patrick's
no.
being banned from the PB&J.
Mr. PB.
We're just gonna be BJ now. You know what?
I'm good with that.
It's just as good.
I'm gonna look forward on the sunset on a thankful universe.
With now a thankful universe now with more BJs.
More BJs for all.
Oh, I'm thankful for that.
All right, thank you for listening. Our 2.5.
Yeah. That's funny because I took the other ones with me because they were banned as well. I'm in there trying to do a show by myself. I'm like, just come close. I don't have a microphone. It didn't get banned with me, so
it didn't get dusted. Also, we're all dust, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to come close. A light breeze should bring you like inside of me. Let's go.
Appreciate. Oh, too much in me. Whoa.
Just enough.
Hey, Jordan. Speaking of, plug all the holes before this goes on.
Before the dust seeps out.
All right. Before I fade away, you can find us most importantly on Facebook by searching PB the letter NJ podcast.
The letter NJ.
You can find us, of course, anywhere you get your podcast. You can get the audio high quality stream version or download.
Yes.
Google Play, iTunes, wherever. You can go to our website, pbnjpodcast.podbean.com.
Yep.
Check us out on YouTube. Just search for PBnJ Podcast. And, of course,
on Twitch as well.
twitch.tv/PBnJ Podcast.
It'll be a good time.
It sure the fuck will.
And you'll never know when we have pants on.
I do now. You know that for a fact. Y'all saw
we actually know now, but you don't know.
But you know what? The people on the break, the people who are in the audio only version, they didn't get to see that.
Well, now
I
you
put pants on live.
Bryce did put on pants live. But you know what? On that, guys, nailed it. Bryce has pants on.
For now. All right. Audio has stopped. For everyone on the Twitch, thank you for joining us. We love you very much. Welcome to the 5.
Samesies for the tube.
And we will see you next week when we do another exciting episode of the PB&J podcast. So stick around. See us then.
Oh, yeah.
See you.